Hello friends and welcome back to more builds from the solo lane, this time working with the requested Hercules. So hey, first off, as per usual, when we do build guides and whatnot, we're going to talk about how to level up Mr. Hercules. It's pretty straightforward, same way you're doing it every single time you play Hercules for the last like 4 seasons. Start with your 1, obviously when you're clearing with your 1, when you're clearing camps, make sure to not, steal or like not to push something away so that your jungler can't hit it properly. Make sure you're very aware of what's going on there. You don't want to be a butt. You don't want to be a butt and do that. Level 2, and this is the same with pretty much every god. You can get either his heal for more survivability, or you can get his 2 for better clear. It depends on what you're doing. If you're in lane and you're worried about being ganked, maybe get his 3 first so that you could survive a gank if you use your 1 to clear. If you're just going to go clear in the jungle with your jungler, maybe get your 2, do more damage, and then at level 3, probably just get the other one. There's not much point in doubling up in abilities at level 3 at this point because you're going to be using all of them pretty frequently with almost any solo laner. Then you're going to be maxing your 1, get your ult whenever you can because your ult does lots of damage, and if you can hit it and bank it off the stuff, it's even more damage because it hits stuff multiple times. It's crazy. Super crazy. And again, max out your 1 first. Next, personally, I like getting the heal more. I prefer the more survivability over the extra clear, but if you want more clear, you can still go with the 2. That's not a terrible idea. You just got to be careful you don't have as much survivability as you would if you got your heal. So I do my heal second. Again, get your ult when you can. That one, do a little bit of that one, a little bit of heal, get your 2. I don't know why I did that. Finish your heal, get your 2, get your ult when you can, finish your 2, get your ult, bam. That's how you level up the Hercules. Alright, now to the build stuff. Also, before we start, Herc tier 2 is his best skin. If you want to win games with Herc, use his tier 2. Better than Hercules, better than everything else. Just want to put that out there. It's, it's a quick tip. Use his tier 2, you win games. Now, build for Mr. Hercules. You're going to be starting with Bluestone. You could probably start with Breastplate or Death Toll or Vanguard if you want. Vanguard a little bit more survivability. Death Toll kind of a little bit more sustain, but you're not really going to be auto-attacking much. I mean, you will because you can't clear super well, but Bluestone helps with clear, gives you MP5. It's pretty dang good. Vanguard just more survivability if you really want it. It's not a terrible thing to start, but I would just say start Bluestone pretty much every time. Boots, you're going to be getting Warrior Tabi. I mean, you can get tank boots if you want that more survivability. Again, if you're going to be extra tanky, but 99% of the time, or I guess 90% of the time, Warrior Tabi is just the way to go. It's an easy thing to build. Alright, so build itself. Now, I've talked in the past how I don't like Breastplate. I still don't like Breastplate. I'll kind of come back to that a little bit more. You can still build it if you really want to. Building physical defense, any of these items are really, really good still. Breastplate's still good. These 2 I like more. If you're up against a lot of auto attackers, maybe you want to build Nemean, you return some of the damage. If you're up against a lot of close ranged ability gods, build Spectral Armor and it'll mess them up real good, especially against like a tier. You can't fearless use stuff like that. It's just really, even a Wukong comes to Tiger Stun you, he gets feared away, messes up his combo. Spectral Armor is just a fun item to build. I would recommend it if you haven't tried it out yet. I'm going to go Spectral 90% of the time in my games because it's super fun to build and I have a fun time using it. Magical item, I've talked about this again at length in the past. I like every item in this tree a bunch. I like every item in this tree a bunch. If you're up against a lot of healing, you probably just want to pick up Pestilence to stop some of the healing. There's a lot of crowd control and you want to max out your CCR super fast because this already gives you 20%, I think, yeah. Bulwark's not terrible, it gives you a lot of health too. And then this will just help if your support doesn't want to pick up aura items and you want to give your team that MP5, go for it, be a nice person. Again, Pestilence is probably the item you're going to be building most of the time in this tree if you're building from this tree. Genji's is really good because it lets you essentially overcap CDR. Isn't a terrible thing. Oni Hunters is actually a decent item now when you're diving. It's really cheap, and when you're diving backline, it just gives you more protection. So once you do some damage, you're going to be doing damage, and then you get mitigation. It's kind of like the opposite of Spirit Robe, which is a really good passive. But instead, once you're getting CC'd, it's when you're actually doing damage, which means it's kind of like a trade-off. You control when you get the passive, essentially, but at the same time, you're not getting the passive when you need it the most, which is when they're getting hit by hard CC. So it's really, again, it's a good item. Pick it up if you want it. I'd still recommend it, but I still prefer Shogun's Kasari. I like this item a lot. I think it's just really helpful. You don't get as much magic protection as Genji's, which is why sometimes you'd pick up Genji's instead, in my opinion. But especially if you have an auto-attack jungler, a Kali, an Erling Shen jungle, if that's still a thing, Bakasura, anything like that where they're going to be using auto attacks, or you have a mid laner who uses auto attacks a lot, even like a Poseidon, this would be good with. And then obviously any ADC this works well with. If you have a Hunter mid, this works well. Just gives more attack speed. And even if you're don't have many people with lots and lots of attack speed usage, having more attack speed when you're weaving in your basics helps you. So it's like, it's not a terrible thing. You're not an auto attack god, but it definitely helps out a little bit.
A good choice.
I still think Shogun's Katari is a great item. I don't see it picked up very often. I think it should be picked up more. If there's a reason that you think it's not picked up, let me know, because I honestly don't know why people don't pick this up more often. Maybe they just want the health, and that's why they're getting Pestilence. They want the health and the healing reduction, which again, it's definitely a good item still. I just think Shogun's Kasari is really fun to use. Now next, and I'm a big advocate of this too, Shield of Regrowth, super good item. Another thing why I think people should pick up more, and here's the other reason why, right? So I think this item would be a good item without the passive if it was like 200 gold cheaper, even like 100 gold cheaper. If you get health and you get the 20% CDR, that's really dang good. And by getting Shield of Regrowth, you can bypass Breastplate of Valor, which everyone knows I hate, and pick up Spectral Armor and not really miss out on much, because you're getting your CDR from a health item, which is just crazy to me. I don't know why they have that on a health item. The passive is also really good, obviously. I'm just saying, I feel like this item would be good without a passive still. I think it would still be picked up if it didn't have a passive. So the fact that you get to use the passive and get the 20% CDR and get the health and MP5, HP5, I think it's a pretty good pickup. You could also pick up Mail of Renewal, but again, I think Shield of Regrowth is just really good on Herc, or any warriors that can heal themselves. I think it's just a really good pickup. So next up, again, another item I like a bunch, Spirit Robe probably. You could pick up anything from this tree, honestly, at this point. If you want to get Hide of the Urchin, you'd probably get it before you get Shield of Regrowth. Get Hide of the Urchin third so you can get the stacks on faster. But it's still a really good item, especially once it's fully stacked. Gives you a lot of health. Magi's is never a bad thing to get. You get the, single absorption of hard crowd controls. Mail of Discord, really good item. Lots of protections of both. Gives you some cooldown. And again, the passive is also really good if you're diving the backline, you're trying to get out. Especially with Herc. Like, more so with Herc than most other warriors, in my opinion. Because Herc, you're 99% of the time using your only escape as a form of damage. If you're dashing into like 3 gods and you get, CC'd and kind of bursted, passive gives you a chance to get away with your mitigate wounds. You stun them, you mitigate wounds, and by the time they can catch up to you again, you have your dash up and you can just get away. So it really helps. I'd say like 90% of the time, I'm going to be picking up Spirit Robe in this slot. Max out your CDR, it doesn't overcap it, which is nice. Again, overcapping by 5%, not the end of the world. Like, go for it. Just knock yourself out. Do it, man. But I kind of like picking up Spirit Robe. Again, I've talked at length about the passive before. I think the passive is really good. A lot of damage comes after you get hard CC'd, which is why the passive works out really well. You get Athena taunted into, a big burst ultimate, or you get Kepri pulled into a big burst ultimate, or you get just anything. Like Sylvanas ulted. It would work really well against Sylvanas because you're mitigating part of his damage, because the damage comes after his ultimate, the hard CC, and the mitigations afterwards. You get knocked up by Bacchus, you can mitigate the ult that comes afterwards. Just a really good item.
I will be unstoppable.
And lastly, I like picking up a health item. I'm really enjoying Gauntlet of Thebes. It gives you a lot of health and gives you and your team protections as well. That would be probably my normal pickup in most situations. Additionally, you could be picking up... Where's it at? Where's that item at? Where you at, little item? Wingblade, if there's a lot of slows, you're getting caught out by all the slows. Wingblade passive works really, really well. Especially with Poseidon being more of a thing. It works well against Poseidon, it works well against Anubis. Again, anyone with slows, really. You can just, you get slow and you just, like, zoom away. It's perfect. It's wonderful. Relic Dagger could probably work, but you're not going to be picking up 2 relics generally where the cooldown reduction matters, so maybe not the best option. Stone of Gaia is really dang good if they have a lot of knockups or knockbacks. You're up against a Tyr, you're up against Susano, you're up against Vulcan, Hebo, Awilix, Bacchus, Sobek, like anyone with knockups, knockbacks. Hercules, I mean, if you're playing Herc v Herc, works pretty well. Again, there's probably a bunch that I'm missing off the top of my head. Sylvanas, it does really well against Xing Chen, it just destroys. So Stone of Gaia could be a really good pickup. Also, you're getting a lot of HP5, MP5 by having these 2 items. Well, you get MP5 from like every single item in the game now, so that's not a huge deal. But you get a lot of HP5 and MP5. It's a good pickup. Again, Thebes is kind of like my fallback. Don't know what to build. I want to get something to help out the team. I want to get something to help out myself. It's a decent item. I'm going to check other stuff that I forgot to talk about. Runic Shield's still good if you're up against like a Freya or something. Masamune could still work pretty well if you want to get like a kind of hybrid item. If you're diving the backline, you get protections, but you still get the physical power, you get the movement speed, a little bit of health. Helps you out a tiny little bit. Picking up any of the items I talked about before in this last slot is fine. The last slot's like the most situational, where it's really just how the game's going depends on what you're going to pick up. From this tree, I don't really talk about this tree too much. I'd really just say, like, Sav should be picked up by your support, probably. Maybe pick up Midgardian Mail if there's a lot of auto attacks. You want to get the health instead of just getting the flat protection from Nemean. Emperor's Armor's not terrible if you're still sieging a bunch. Again, anything from this tree would still be good in last slot if they have extra magical damage. Maybe they have a magical ADC. They have like a Freya and a big burst mage in the mid. You want to get more magic protection. So one of these would be good. But if they have a Freya, you're probably picking up Runic Shield because you want to get you want to jump in her face and reduce her magical protection as much as possible. Or magical protection, sorry. Magical power as much as possible. Mail of Renewal you could pick up. You'd be overcapping CDR by 10% unless you picked up something like Magi's Blessing in the Spirit Robe slot. This could work out pretty well if you're getting lots of kills, you're doing lots of objectives, you can heal yourself up a little bit. This heal plus Herc heal is actually really strong. And again, you get a lot of health, you get some HP 5, and HP 5 is never a terrible thing to have. You're probably not going to be picking up anything from this tree. Actually, Runeforge won't work terribly on him, just because all of the damage you're doing comes after CC, essentially. Because you're setting yourself up with CC, or you're just using an ability and it has CC on it. So you could do, like, you know, if you're using your 1, then you hit with your ultimate's going to do more damage. If you're hitting with your 2, then you hit with your 1, then your ult is going to do more damage. Anything like that works because, again, Herc's 1 isn't just a knockback, it's a knockback and stun. And his 2 is a knock up. So it doesn't... So this item works with both of those. I don't really think Blackthorn Hammer is going to be something you'll be picking up very often. The only thing... Like, the passive's kind of good where it subtracts the 3 seconds from all of your abilities. So this could kind of be, I guess... If you want that Mantle of Discord feel, but you don't want Mantle of Discord, and you just want the health and mana... this way it's like you get super low and then all of a sudden your dash is back up again even if you dashed in. So it could actually work out pretty well. That could actually be not a terrible item on him. Maybe try Blackthorn Hammer. Maybe try that out a little bit. Maybe see that's the thing you want to do. Is there anything else I missed talking about? Probably, maybe, but you know, figure it out. You'll figure it out. I believe in you guys. All in all, like almost every defensive item is pretty good. I mean, I don't think you'd be picking up Shifter Shield or Void Shield anymore. I don't think Void Shield's that good right now. I don't think Shifter Shield does much for you. Sav is a good item, but it's probably going to be picked up by your support. Mystical Mail is just too expensive and doesn't give enough. These two are okay. Situationally. I think I've pretty much talked about every other item in the game. And Chile, I still... Like, this is technically the same kind of thing as Spectral, but I don't like the Silence as much as the Fear. The Silence doesn't do as much, in my opinion, even though it's a 30-second ability. Maybe you could try it out. I just don't think it's the greatest. You do get cooldown reduction from it too, which is kind of nice. Everything else I think I talked about. So yeah, those are kind of what the items you're looking for. Mr. Hercules are. They're, you know, you get a decent amount of protection. You can run super duper fast. You almost have 3k health. And I feel like 3k health is like the... That's like the barrier I use for like a lot of health. 3,000. You get to 3k health, that's like you got a lot of health. You have like 2,800. It's like you almost have a lot of health. Still pretty good health. Not tons of health, pretty good health. Over 3k, it's like, wow, man, you crazy. You're getting lots of protections here. You're getting lots of both physical and magical, as well as giving your entire team 20 of both, which is kind of neat. You get more survivability because you can run super fast when you do that. Because of your whole, whatchamacallit thing. Shield of the regrowths. You have pretty short cooldowns. 8 seconds on your dash, right? I think, yeah, 9 seconds on your heal. So your heal and the shield of regrowth are almost up at the exact same time, which means as long as you're not spamming your heal right when it's on cooldown, you'll get the shield of regrowth passive every time. It's like a second off, not even a second off. It's like 0.8 seconds off. Fully maxed out, I think. Oh, it's exactly 9 seconds. Alright, it's a second off. Alright, I'm wrong. So yeah, all in all, that's pretty... I think that's what you'd be looking to build on Herc. Again, use this more as a guideline than this is what you build every time, because Soul Lane is very situational. And there's some items some people like more than others. There's some items that like you'll maybe really enjoy building, and I'm not a big fan. For example, Breastplate. A lot of people love Breastplate. I just don't like Breastplate. It's not my thing. You know, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling Breastplate very much. And last, I'm just going to talk about Relic super quick. Same as all solo laners, probably picking up Teleport first. There's not very many instances where we pick up other stuff. Hercules is probably one of the better gods at getting kills at level 1 because you got the stun with your dash. So getting something like Sunder at level 1 isn't terrible, right? You dash into Sunder. That can work out pretty well. You stun them, maybe having a Wheelix, and the Wheelix flips them after you Sunder. Lots of damage. And then Horrific Emblem would be the only other thing I'd see picking up at level 1. I don't think picking up Med at level 1 is worth it. I don't think Shell level 1's worth it for you. I don't think Bracers level 1's worth it for you. It would really just be Horrific Emblem or Sunder for the early kill, maybe even Heavenly. Other than that, teleport like 90% of the time. Just better for farming. Second Relic, you pick up pretty much anything except for I wouldn't really pick picking up Aegis, Purification, or Hog. If you want to pick up Purification, it's either because there's a lot of like knockbacks and knockups, in which case you just pick up Stone of Gaia because it works just as well. You don't get to control it yourself, but it's it's working when it needs to work. Or you pick up Magi's if there's lots of other CC you're trying to avoid, lots of taunts maybe, lots of mezzes. You want to get out of that, just pick up Magi's or pick up Stone of Gaia instead. You can have a team fight relic instead of just beads. And you shouldn't need Aegis, you should just be able to be super tanky and walk through most stuff. Heavenly's good, helps out your team, helps out your Archer bunch because they don't have basic attack movement penalties, which is pretty dang good since no gods really have Fatalis effects anymore in their kits, so this could help out chasing down kills a lot. Curse works well against healers. If you're not building Pestilence, you want that anti-heal. I don't think you'd build. Blink can kind of work. I mean, you can kind of troll. I'm not going to be able to do it because I'm bad, but if you Herc 2, Blink, and then like turn and blink, then what's going to happen is that the guy will teleport right to where you are. We have to do it super fast. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to try super quick. Ready? I didn't do it. But you could do it. It's pretty cool. So if you could do that, that's, maybe pick a Blink for that, or you can maybe just like blink into someone and then dash, which could actually work decently well. It's not super trolly. It's kind of trolly. I go back. What other relics are good? Really, any relics you want to pick up. You could get Thorns is probably my favorite because you can dive the backline, return lots of damage. Med works pretty well, even if you have a med on the team. You can pick up a second one. I would generally prefer picking up not a second med, getting like another team fight relic, but of all relics to double up on, I think med's probably the most okayest to double up on. Shell's still a really good item, especially once you level it up. Not super great at first like 0 gold level, but it's pretty dang good when you level it up. Again, Horrific Emblem for chasing kills is really good. Gets easier kills, chase people down. Bracer, diving the backline, get Krakened. Bracer, you get 50% of your health back. It's like bam, like the Kraken didn't even happen. Phantom, pretty much only against Odin. Again, it works against knockups too, but you're really not going to be. It's going to be hard to use against knockups unless you're like communicating with your team. In which case, you pick it up against like Bacchus or Relics. Sunder can work pretty well still if you want to get early kills. Sunder can work good on Hurt because you can like pull Sunder, right? Like you pull Sunder him in the end and dash and hit him and then ult and bam, lots of damage. So that's kind of cool. You can do that with the Sunder and do lots of damage. But again, pretty much any relic you want to pick up second would work out well. It just depends on your situation, what you're trying to do with your team, what your team's trying to do, what's all going on there, and then you do all that stuff, do all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's Hercules stuff. What should be looking to build on Herc? Again, use this as a guideline. Don't use this as a set in stone build. Soul Lane is very situational. Stuff changes all the time. Preferences change. Who you're up against changes what you're trying to build. What your team's trying to do changes what you're trying to build. Who you have on your team. If you're ahead, if you're behind. All that stuff changes Soul Lane build. So again, don't use this as a this was what I build every single game because I was told to build this every single game. This is kind of like a somewhat of a guideline, what you should be looking to build, stuff to try out if you haven't tried it out yet, items that could work out pretty well in this god. Just give them a go. But anyways, that's all I have to say about Hercules. He's a pretty fun character. Try him out sometime maybe. Maybe try playing the Hercules a little bit. Have a fun time. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you again for another episode in a little while where I'll be doing a different god build probably. And yeah, take care everyone.